Yes?
Wait for me there, yeah.
But just a test?
Huh?
Or
No,
just...
it's not a test. It's we're live. It's it. There's no test.
No, but wait.
Hey guys,
Eh,
yeah, somehow Nick thought it's a test. There's no test here. We're already doing it. I hope it's like actually I need to check on my phone if we're gonna have the notification coming up. But yeah, if anything's wrong with sound or picture or anything else, please let me know. Nick, your microphone is hot, by the way, so they can hear whatever you say right now. Let's start. Yeah, I have Mig Jimenez here, but we're going to start by the quick overview of some new stuff we're adding, right? So we do have what I call paintables, and I kind of came up with this term. I didn't hear it anywhere before because I didn't know what to call all the things we have on our website, which are just combined into like a canvas theme. So it's whatever is there to paint. So we have all the 3D printed stuff, right? This is painted by Mig Jimenez here, the piece on the side. This actually, since you just showed it, this is the Nova Open 2025 award. So that's we just, it's fresh out of the printer today. It's fully designed and printed by our team here. And then we got these little guys added to our collection. So this new Atom kind of
Pero oye, que este va a empezar a grabar, yo tengo que pensar a ver cómo voy a hacer la introducción y todo.
They are added to website. I think already, maybe not. Maybe they will. But moving from here, yeah, this is really one. This story is so popular. I had so many really talented artists painted.
No, déjalas.
Which is really great to see.
La vista, pero que sí.
Moving forward, we have all the speed shapes, right? So all kind of sizes from the itsy bitsy speed shape to, I would say, like real man speed shape, right? So this can be your art object, your canvas for putting on the wall and you know, having something going on with it. And create some kind of really nice piece of art on this one, graphics or just paint. And that's what we just brought, and it's not listed yet as if you're watching it live, but it will be soon. We have the hoods, right? So they have the mini hood, which already, this is Mig Jimenez piece also, but Scott McKay just painted one with graphics, lowrider kind of style, looks really good. We got some supports for those, so this work for the smaller size. But what I really like, we got 3 new sizes in. So also like a itsy bitsy mini one. And what I like about them, they're all magnetic. So all of those are metal. So you can use magnets to like, you know, put on and some stencils, whatever we're using there, some masking, you know, materials help with it. This is like one generic magnet I got from, I don't know, probably from Walmart, but we have like little ones from no-name brand also. This is super strong. So they hold really well and they have small footprints or minimal footprint for you guys to be able to paint around it. You know, when you need something small masking, you can just paint around this thing. It's really great. And also the 2 new sizes, so they're not gloss, they only covered in the, what is it, the primer. But look at the size, man. This is your, I think it's from Mini Cooper or something. That's the real hood, right? So we got those all coming in and be added to our website hopefully tomorrow. I mean, we work 7 days a week, so it's Saturday today, so tomorrow it should be on the website, maybe not. But I guess enough intro for a new product review. Oh, I forgot one thing. So the ways to hold them, we have quite a few options. You know, this is like one of the tabletop stands here. So this is also like for tabletop if you want. This is tabletop for smaller hoods. Oh no, sorry, this is actually for hanging. You can hang this and they have few magnets and you can put a hood in it. But my favorite one, and we have this option, is a super strong magnet. I mean, I have one here and you just put the screw for it pretty much like this. It's just a standard, whatever the drywall screw. It goes flat with it. And man, it's so strong. Oh, do you hear it? Watch this. So just one magnet, and because of the shape, you probably want a 2 on the sides for this size, but even one is really strongly hold it, and it's definitely enough. But just a quick overview, guys, for automotive use or fine artists, whoever wants to figure out the new canvas for themselves, this is what we got in house. And well, moving to our main topic of the day is the ammo product overview. I have a guest here. What do you mean cut? It's a live video, Mig. There's no cuts here. I'm sorry. But, what's up? Yeah, I cannot. We cannot stop it. It's a live video.
You cannot stop it.
Yeah, I have people watching us right now. It's a live video. It's on YouTube.
It's online.
It's like, yeah, I told it's live video. That's what live video called. You see the level of preparation here. So Well,
I am sorry, guys.
it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
It's the problem with the Spanish people, no? That we think always that everything is well prepared, but no,
Okay.
we are online, so okay.
Yeah.
I apologize because I doesn't expect that. Anyway, Artem told me to talk a bit about our products. So here we have a large selection of products, and I want to explain you very important things, mainly to show you difference. For example, this is one small selection about products for construction. We have sandpaper, sand limes, cutters. Those cutters, for example, are very interesting because they use only one time, not only one time, but you use few times and you can throw to the trash and use a new one. So in that way, you always have a very sharp cutter. Those boxes is one of our last products, very interesting one because here you have a selection of the most important stuff. For example, if you are a beginner, if you are entering the modeling, you can take one of those, one of each, and you will have all necessary to start building your models, including, for example, cutter, small tweezers, masking tape, and thinners. But about thinners, that is even more important, I need to explain you the difference between them, because we have many, so pay attention to this because it's very simple. In one side, we have the standard cement for plastic, just when you are building any plastic kit. This is the most useful one, the typical, the classic, works very well. We have also another version that is a bit more thick and could be useful depending which part are you gluing in your model. And we have also one intermediate, but it's not here, but those are my favorite. And why? Because I am getting a bit old, I cannot see very clear where I am gluing, and the problem with this one is that it's totally transparent. So we make a couple of versions in blue and in red, so depending the plastic color that you have, you can use the blue or the red. So you will see where you are applying the thinner with more accuracy, and especially for people like me that I cannot see very well. So that is my recommendation. Those are the ones that I use very often, but if you want to be more clean or you are younger, you can use the other options. In another hand, we have the putty surfacer that is useful to cover any surface, to make textures. There are different densities. This one is the thin, but you have a medium and very thick. So you will be able to cover the surface. For example, if you are making the texture in a turret, in a German tank, you can use this to texturize the turret to create the metal look in your model. So very useful also to fill the gaps if you are building your kit. Could be interesting. Remember, this one must be thinned down with acetone. Very important, don't forget it. More different things. The cyano, that is a classic one, useful to paint, for example, photo etch, metallic parts, aluminum, and other, of course, also plastic. No, I use almost for everything. So the perfect combination is something like that: plastic and photo etch and metal, and you will have all necessary. This one that is something strange for most of the people, but it's a product that I love it because this is to create something very, very, very strong. For example, if you are constructing a turret in your plastic kit with many different parts, you can turn down the turret, you can put cyano and fill it with this kind of dust. This will make the turret extremely strong. So for some kind of scale model like planes or even ships that are very big, you can use this to put together two parts that need a lot of to be very strong. And finally, you have the activator to accelerate the drying process of the cyano. That is a classic. You have this cap, special cap, to spray the product directly over your model, and the bonder that is useful to clean the excess of cyano in case that you make any mistake. More products. Well, we have here some example of books. Remember that you can find all kind of books in English version, also in Spanish, French, and many others, but of course always in English. Books like, for example, the eyebrows, or for washes, or for oils, or for acrylics. So we have a huge variety of books that you can find here in Spraygunner too.
Yes, so many books. There's so many books, man.
And very useful, because all information is there and very well explained with many photos, step by step. So I recommend you, if you are a beginner, go for documentation that will help you to start in the modeling or to improve your modeling, in fact.
You also have this weathering magazine, right? So how often does it?
Well,
a few times a year?
now we are modifying the magazine, and we are making a different weathering magazine. Now is weathering technical magazine, more specific and not periodic like the previous one.
So it's more by topic.
It's more technical. It's just like just to see the techniques, more concentrate and more specific than before. But anyway, my recommendation, just talking about the tools and everything, is to buy and to get something that could be basic and you can use for everything. The most important is the basic things, because if you haven't a good base when you are making your models, you will get lost with the other products that we will see later. For weathering, for effects, and others, but you need a good base, so this is just the beginning. More things, and very interesting, and probably one of the most important things for me, and is the primering. I was talking to you about a good start, a good beginning, to have something basic when you are making your models. And for example, in my case, I cannot survive if I haven't my primers. Why? Because that give extra protection to your model. Those bases, those sprays are extremely strong, they dry very fast, and they respect all details in your model. In fact, for example, I don't know if I can open one of those.
Absolutely.
Yes, I can open. For example, let's open this brown.
I think metallic is one of the...
Rust color, but I will need, okay. The sprays. Why for me is very important. Doesn't matter if you use any kind of acrylic paint, doesn't matter if you use Mr. Hobby or ATOM or any other, or even if you are a wargamer painter, you always need, especially if you are a wargamer painter, you need a good primer, because if you are touching your model, you need to protect it very well. So especially for that, and here we have some examples made in resin that, and I will do it in front of you just to show you how fast. Do you have any gloves to protect my hands?
At some point.
Yes, I will demonstrate in front of you very quick, and you will be surprised about the quality and how fast dry.
Yeah, if you want, you can just spray right
Okay, yes, much better.
surface.
So pay attention, because I will do only one time. But this is what made me save time when I am making my models, because especially that I like 1/16 scale, very huge tanks. With this, I can do it very fast, so pay attention. You don't need to be worried if you apply too much or not. Just turn around and apply a thick coat of thinner or primer, and just let dry. It dries really, really fast. Even if you accumulate too much quantity over the surface, doesn't matter. The final look will be completely smooth, flat, uniform, and very resistant. That saves my time. I prefer this than any other primer using airbrush, especially because it is very fast. For example, if you want to primer trucks, wheels, or a fuselage of a plane or a ship, or doesn't matter what, I recommend you that. You have many colors. You have even metallic colors. You have, for example, if you are a wargamer modeler, you have also blue, yellow, all kind of colors, and also rust, greens, and all kind of them. We will see later in a few minutes when it is completely dry, and you will be shocked with the final look. because I put a lot of quantity, but just give a few minutes.
Important detail, I think, about it, because you use it in plastic also, and it's not aggressive, so it's not going to melt details. Because you can find a lot of primers, which is solvent primers. You can just spray it from, especially from the aerosol, and it's going to melt all your little details there, which is sweet spots there.
This is true. In fact, remember that, for example, the models that we made, that is, for example, 135 scale tanks, they have very, very small details. And this respect a lot, and of course doesn't melt or doesn't affect the plastic. Doesn't matter which plastic or resin or metal, this will work very, very well, especially for metal also. You know that when you paint something metallic like photo etch or aluminum, always you can scratch easily the paint from the metal surface, but not with this. Trust me, if someone take me out this primer, I will stop making models forever. So, because that made my life very easy, very easy. So, let's dry a bit more, and let's go to explain you more interesting things that probably most of you was thinking about the difference between the two main range of paints that we released recently in the market. One is Ionic and the other Atom. What is that exactly and the difference? Well, this is like a totally new evolution of the paint. It's the most technological and the best product that we released in Namo anytime. So I feel very proud of those products, because that cost us around 4 years to develop that paint, and was a hard work, but finally we got it. Not only about the paint, but also the way how we present the product. That will change your life for sure when you are making your modeling at home, and it's something totally new and different to the rest of the products in the market. Ionic is a range specifically for Warhammer, for figure painters, for fantasy, mostly focused to be used with brass, but also if you thin down a little with thinner, you can use in airbrush, but it's perfect for brass. The selection of colors are very exclusive and well designed, mostly for fantasy, like magentas, blues, pastel colors, and a range of colors that for sure will cover all your areas in the fantasy. And the Atom paints are a bit different formula than the Ionic. The Atom are more, a little more satin. Ionic is a bit more matte. Those have a range specifically for tanks, for planes, for ships, but also a little for more generic colors, no? That can be used for all kind of purposes, even something civilian, for example, a tractor, a excavator. But that formula is designed mostly for airbrush. You can drop directly the paint over inside your airbrush, sorry, and you can start painting directly without no thinning, nothing. And the most interesting aspect of both paints is that doesn't matter how bad you apply the color. Doesn't matter if you put too much or you make mistakes, or if you are watching TV while you are painting, doesn't matter, because the final look will be always completely smooth and flat, because have self-leveling properties, which is very important. So it's a kind of lacquer paint, but it's not lacquer, it's totally acrylic, doesn't smell, it's not toxic, so you can use in your home, with your pets, with your family. That is the main difference with other paints. That works like a lacquer, but it's a pure acrylic. Let me show you just one example, another good property of the paint. That is the new bottle. As you can see, it's bigger than others. This is 20 milliliters, while the standard paints for modeling is 17 milliliters, so this is a big difference. Another important thing, of course, like all our paints, always have a steering ball, a metallic ball inside, just to help you to shake it very well. And what I like it, and this is why we use that bottle, is that you can open with only one hand or close it, while in the other hand you have your eyebrush, which is very important when you want to work very fast. So just open, drop the paint in that position, and close again. And remember, always you must drop the paint, you must pour the paint in that vertical position. So in that way, you will avoid that the hole become dirty with the paint. So this is the secret in case that you want to use it. Just try it and you will be surprised, not only about the quality, but how fast you can work with only one hand. Doesn't matter if you use Ionic or Atom, you will find that something has changed in the modeling. Obviously, you can clean it with water, which is very important. You can clean everything with water, your brushes, your eyebrush. We have also two kinds of thinners, not only for Atom, but also for Ionic. One normal, standard, another with retarder in case that you want more time for drying. Both, also Atom can be used with brush if you want, of course, but I recommend you this one, Ionic for brush, Atom for eyebrush. Atom more for military subjects, tank, planes, and everything, mostly for eyebrush, and a little more satin, remember. And Ionic more for brush, more matte, more dense color. The color mix very well when you are making the mixture and you are making shades and transparencies and others. So you will find a lot of difference between them. Just think what you are doing. What is your modeling? Warhammer, or you are making tanks or planes, and you must choose the one that you want. In another hand,
question, sorry, Meg, but you can also mix them together, right? So if I have, let's say, this green from Atom, and
yes.
I have the white from Ionic, I want to have lighter green.
Of course,
mix them together,
of course,
so similar
because both are totally acrylic, more or less are like from the same family. So you can mix together, even if you have those colors, also you can mix them. Of course, you will mix the properties of them, but you can mix them with any problem, which is interesting. Even you can mix with another brands if you want that are acrylic, water-based, very important. But remember, you will mix also the properties, which is the most important to keep on mind. Talking about those series of paints that was original paints, those paints are totally different formula than this. It's not evolution. This is not the evolution of those ones. It's just like a different ramification or different type of paints. So, for example, my recommendation, if you have those paints, or if you want to even to save your money, because those are maybe a little more expensive.
We have a big sale on this now, the original ones. So yeah, definitely.
But this is a little more cheaper than this one. For example, I recommend you the classic acrylic paints. In case that you want to make something huge like this, that this is a scenario for French Crusade, no? I recommend you to use those paints to paint the bases, the bunkers, the structures. You can obtain a very nice result. You can use them, of course, with eyebrush. I recommend you mostly for eyebrush, and you will be able to cover very nice big surfaces for dioramas, structures, buildings, or things like that. In combination with that paint, you can use the dry brush paint. Maybe here, the dry brush paint. This paint is also water-based, very important, but is designed to be used with the dry brush technique. This is, for example, the brush that must be used for the dry brush. Everybody knows the dry brush technique. I think that if you are a veteran like me, you will remember Berlinden, no? From Berlinden production. He used a lot the dry brush. He developed that technique a lot in the 19s. So I recommend you to use the dry brush over a base painted with acrylic, and you will see how you create a nice texture with a lot of volume and a lot of nice effects. Okay, so this is one recommendation, one of the applications. There are millions of applications, but this is one example how you can use it. Doesn't matter if this is for Warhammer or something similar or not. You can use also in dioramas, standard dioramas. So I think that I explained a lot of things about
Yeah,
that.
we got one of the questions here since we're live about the Ionic actuators. So they have the cleaner for, thinner for Ionic and thinner for Atom. Are they any different or just different labeling?
Well, like I told you, even both are from the same family, we designed one specific thinner for Ionic, which work very nice. So the performance is perfect with the Ionic thinner for Ionic paints. But in case that you want to use the Atom thinner, because maybe you bought this one and you have Ionic, you can use it, of course. Maybe I don't know if it's like in USA about the fuel. You have maybe 98 octans and 95 octans for cars.
Yeah, not exactly, but yeah.
Well, you can use both, yes, but one is more optimized for this paint and the other for the other, but you can interchange also without any problem.
Yeah, that's one of you guys' big customers. He's saying I purchased the whole line of Ionic and I'm using that. I had the Atom thinner, so I'm using this Atom thinner for Ionic. So I guess it's working, but get Ionic too. Makes sense. It's a little better. So maybe you'll feel the difference.
Everything is interconnected.
Yeah.
It's like Lego. You can interconnect
it's
both.
good that you make a system like this.
But if you want to be to get the maximum properties of each paint, try to use the specific thinner. In case that you don't take care too much, you can interchange or even use water. So it doesn't matter. You can just tap water and everything will works perfectly.
Yeah, I think if you use water, better use distilled water, so you don't bring all the
yes. Okay.
minerals in the water to.
One quick question. I have been using the Ionic paints to paint some of the miniatures, and it actually ended up hiding the brush strokes because of the self-leveling properties. Whereas with acrylics, I had to do thin layer and thin layer and thin layer. The self-leveling with the brush made it so that with just 2 passes, I was getting a smooth enough surface that I could just keep on painting and not have to worry about going back and back and back. So that was a very nice thing that helps a lot of time.
Yes.
With the brush and the airbrush.
This is a good point, especially when you are using your brush. The problem is that if you apply the paint too thick, the people can think, okay, maybe I will see the marks of the brush. But in that case, nothing happened. Doesn't matter how thick you apply the coat, you always will obtain a surface that looks like applied with airbrush. So it's incredible. Even most of the colors with only one coat, even applying yellow over black, you can cover immediately, and with the airbrush too. So this is another good property of those paints that have a very high capacity to coverage the surface. Even with yellow color, I was making the test with the yellow color over a black surface using the airbrush, and the people were shocked that, oh my God, it's covered only in one movement, you are covering everything, no?
Yeah, if you're less familiar, yellow is one of the hardest pigments to get coverage. What's going on?
Yeah, so this is like I told you, it's a new evolution of the paint. We are in a new century, and this is what the people are using right now in most of the countries around the world, no? So I tell you, give a try, and you never will want to use a different color than Atom or Ionic, especially if you are a modeler who want to paint fast, that you want something that always works, which is very important. This is the solution. If you are more expert modelers, use anything that you want, or in your own way, you know. Even some people make his own paint, no? So.
There are very few of those, because most of the modelers, as I know, they have the work day, they come in home, in the garage, they do a little model, and this is the best way to go, because you don't have to spend 20 minutes preparing a paint. You just just open, go, do some progress. The most important thing, difficult things to a modeler is to have progress on what they do. They have 40 minutes to work on the model.
Especially here in the States, that the people, I think, that have really few time.
Yeah,
the people here work a lot.
We don't take month off, but I know I feel really sorry for me to work here, because usually, I think August is like a month off in Europe. So.
No, but it's true that for people who haven't enough time, for people who have not time, or they don't want just to experiment or to try, and just I want to have fun. I want to buy a kit, paint it, and that's all. And the rest of the time I want to stay with my family or my friends. So this is the best way. This is why I was talking to you all the time about about not only beginners but people who want something simple in their lives. For me, it's the same. I am not the best modeler in the world, of course, but I just want to enjoy with what I am doing every day. If I have only half hour, I just want to paint something, forget it, and have fun. That's all. So that is my recommendation, because at the end, not everybody are professionals. Not everybody are making modeling just for living. No? So what do you want? Just enjoy. Just go for something simple that will save your life and save your time and everything.
Before we move to this part of
yes?
stuff, so we also have a question. The guy have a problem with the photo etch glue. He's asking for advice.
The photo etch glue?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can comment on exactly what kind of difficulties you have with that.
There are a glue, maybe you're talking about the ultra glue, maybe he
can... I want to get some details. But
well, I don't know if you can be focused here. Well, this is the ultra glue. That is a kind of acrylic glue for the photo etch. Maybe he's talking about that. We have two options when we are working with photo etch. One is the cyano, this type of glue that everybody knows it, that is very aggressive, very strong, dry very fast, and is very convenient if you are very skillful modeler, okay? But, for example, when you have a little piece of photo etch that need to be glued in a plastic surface and you need to place it and move it, the best option is the ultra glue. Then you put a little drop, very, very small drop of this glue in the surface, you place them, the photo etch part, and then this allows you to move it many times until you find the right position for that part. So it's very important to understand that this is for this kind of purpose, just for recollocation of different parts of photo etch. And this is more recommendable when you need to glue a part that must resist tensions or need to support a lot of things. For example, if you are making the surface in a Panzer IV turret, maybe some of you know the Panzer IV have a certain plates around the turret. Okay, if the supports are made in photo etch, of course, use this one because they need to support a lot of tension. But if you are just adding a little nut or bolt or something very small in a flat surface, I recommend you to use the other because it's more convenient for recollocation or things like that, okay? So maybe is what that person was asking.
I hope so. I didn't get any clarification from Ben yet, so let's hope it's going to help.
He can ask again if you have more doubts, because...
when we finish with everything, we might get back to it.
Let's talk about more things that probably you have more questions, and not everybody know everything about the huge range of ammo product that we have. This is something that I love it. This is the shaders. Those are the previous shader that was a little glossy. I like it in that moment, the glossy ones, but we decided to make the matte ones because that fit much better with the military subject or things like that. The shader is not a paint, okay? Just keep in mind that it's not a paint, it's not a ink, it's something totally different. Even you don't need to shake it because it's not a paint. You put directly in your eyebrows and you will see how immediately you can make very soft lines, very subtle, very thin, and you can control it very well. What is the main purpose of those shaders? Panels for planes, even for tanks, to create volumes, to create shadows, to create more colorful surfaces. So the applications are endless. But the most common for most of you, if you are making planes, is for panels. You can control much more than using a paint. Why? Because the paint, you need to be thinned down with thinner, with water or whatever you want, to make something softer. But even that is really, really difficult to control it. The second important difference is that this doesn't dry immediately. I means, even when you apply the panel or the line or the effects that you want, if you don't like it, you can take a sponge or something humid and remove it immediately, very clean. You can remove it and start again. So it's like to use the computer, no? Control set, control. You can remove it or you can correct it as much times as you want. So this is why those paints, no paints, the shaders are very important. What happens when we like the effects that we achieve? Just let dry 24 hours and the next day will be completely dry and you will be able to apply washes or other effects. Or if you want to work very fast with different layers, just apply matte or satin varnish coat, very soft. You will fix it, and then you can construct the second layer with the shaders. Only in case that you want to make multiple layers, okay? So the possibilities of these paints are incredible. I love them, especially when you need to make up something very accurate, something very precise. This is more easy to use than any other paint for that purpose. We released recently also more colors for fantasy that are pink or greens or blues. There are a huge variety. This is why we stopped making the glossy ones that are a little glossy. That one is matte. We are producing only this one, but again, I use both for different purposes. For example, when I paint something for Warhammer, I like to use those, and even I use also with brass to make a kind of washes or effects. No? So allow you many possibilities. The other product that is one probably our best seller in our company, and I feel very proud of this, are the oil brushers. Probably most of you know it very well. Since we released it in 2016, it's the most popular product at AMO. And yes, it's just oil, but in a special bottle that allow you to apply directly over your model because contain a brush. So you control very well. You doesn't waste. You don't spend too much product because you take only what you need and you apply directly over your model, and that's all. Even you don't need to clean the brush because each one have their own brush, as you can see.
Yeah, I think this is condition the brush usually comes in because those are not from the sale. We have actually tables
yes,
here
from the testing.
them, so somebody already stopped this brush.
But anyway, even if you find the brush that is a bit moved or damaged, you can repair by cleaning with thinner, and that's all. Because this is oil, you can clean it with odorless thinner, for example. Don't use water because it's oily. But another properties from the oil brusher is that they dry off faster than normal oil. Also, the composition is a bit different, so when you will paint it, you will blend the colors because we used the oil brusher to make rust, streaking effects, shadows, highlights, and many kind of effects. No, it's very popular. With a typical tube of oil, it's very uncomfortable because you need to put a drop in your table and take it and thin down, and also they need a lot of time for drying, so the process is very slow. So the oil for me is something basic I use a lot, and I highly recommend you, unless to have 2 or 3 colors just for trying to make shadows of effects. In many of my demonstrations, I always use the oil brushes, so you can see any of my videos in my YouTube channel or in the magazine or books, no? How to use the oil brushes. In fact, we have a book that is about the oil brushes exclusively.
Yeah. Do you know which color is the top seller from those?
From you?
No, well, I think it's overall in the world.
It
always disappears in all shows.
Maybe the black or something like that?
Starship.
Yes, the Starship is very popular, it's true. It's true, the Starship. But my favorite, oh my God, I I destroyed the.
You leave. I mean, yeah.
I
It's
will
Yuli's
show
fault.
you. Yes, it's my fault. But I want to show you the colors that I cannot live without them. One is this, but the
It's
other
not
are
a full,
simple.
it's not a full collection.
Well, this is the most important color for me, the dark brown. I use almost for everything. Also the one that Arten said, the starship field, but also I use the white, the black, and ochre, which are very important for tanks. No? So this is my recommendation for the brushes. Sorry to break your beautiful
No,
display.
it's your product, and we didn't glue
No,
it,
but
so
it's not glued.
Yeah, I know.
It's not glued. Well, here we have also a selection of brushes, as you can see. I like those boxes because many times the modelers doesn't know
They know where to
which
start,
color.
yeah.
Yes, so okay, I don't know which brush is more convenient for planes or for dioramas. So I recommend you always go for these kind of selections because you will have all necessary. For example, see this one that contain brushes for the dry brush paint that I explained you before, or for example, this one for the pigments. So those selections are always the most optimus selection for you. And we think very well what is necessary for each kind of subject. So go for this one if you have no idea what you want. This is another of the products that I love it, that looks like petrol, no? But this is very interesting. Sorry, I will show you here. Because look, in fact, like petrol. And looks like a plastiline or something like that, but it's not plastiline, obviously. And you see that it's very easy to expand, to move it, and to create shapes. For example, I use it always for the hard edge camouflage in German tanks. Because with really few work, you can create a pattern. For example, I will do here. You can make all kind of shapes. You can manipulate and you can create the shape that you want over your model, especially when your tank have, or plane, because I can use it in planes too. No, it's not necessary. For example, if your model have a lot of thin, very teeny parts or components or hatches or things like that, don't worry for that because this doesn't damage the base color, this doesn't damage the details. You can remove easily because it's not sticky, it's not having kind of glue, so doesn't affect your model, which is very important. So if you are a fanatic of the hard edge camouflage, I recommend you to use this. And the most important, that doesn't matter how many times do you use it. You can recycling and use again and again and again. Even if it's full of paint, you can use many times.
So it's really good if you have, say, the V-fin on a Gundam, or the tiny little pieces that you don't have a gator clip to hold. Just put it on that and paint it onto it.
Exactly, because doesn't matter if the surface have decals, small details, transparent parts. Doesn't matter. This doesn't affect you, but just will keep sticking the surface the necessary until you paint everything, and then you can remove it even after 3 days. You can remove it and nothing happen. Of course, I recommend you to apply that product, paint the camouflage or the colors, and remove it immediately, just to avoid that something happen with the paint. But it's more problem about the paint that you are painting over than about the product itself. Okay.
I think we missed those products, and let's address the question from the subscriber here. So for diorama, right? We finished diorama, we applied like all our dry brush, everything else. How do we protect it? We're gonna have the play on this or whatever. So I think the answer is like a varnish. Maybe it's different answer. I'm not sure, but about those.
About those varnishes, there are a lot of maybe a bit confusion, and I will explain the different and when to use them, because I think that this is the main problem with those. No, it's not a problem. It's a problem of understand when to use it or when not. For example, remember that I told you when you are using the shaders, if you apply a coat of shaders and you make some effects and you say, okay, I like it, I don't want to touch it, so I will protect it. Then you must use one of those. Well, not the glossy, but the matte or the satin that is not here. So use the matte or satin to protect the shaders. But very important, don't apply a thick coat of varnish, because this is not varnish for final stages or varnish like, for example, use it in cars or things like that. This is not for that.
It's not clear coat pretty much.
No. This is only for the process. So you must apply a very thin coat of this one. If you apply too much, you will have problems, okay? Because that is not the purpose. For example, when I am painting planes, I always apply a very glossy varnish, but not those ones. I apply the aqua gloss or the hard rock, that is another varnish that we have, acrylic, and I apply that varnish to protect my camouflage, put the decals, and do all effects. And at the end, when I finish my plane completely, looks very glossy, very ugly, I apply a very soft coat of ultra matte varnish in all my model, and that's all, and I don't touch anymore. This is the purpose of the ultra matte, for example, or the matte varnish. Okay, so remember, it's not for final touches in your model. Don't use it like a standard varnish, because this is only for process during the weathering or things like that. So remember that, keep on mind. There are another something different that is not the same, is not a varnish. Long time ago, one famous modeler, José Luis López from Spain, make a technique that is called black and white technique. So he painted the base color with black and white, making volumes, contrast, and everything. And then he painted with this kind of colors over the black and white. To make it this color, to make this color transparent, he mixed it with this one. This is why it is called transparator. Is to make this product transparent. That's all. Then you will be able to allow to see through the color what is under. In that case, the black and white technique. So this is the purpose of the transparator. And you can find glossy like this one, or matte, that there are is another reference. Okay. So more question about that,
but
or I can continue?
What do we protect with? So if you not varnish, so what do we use?
How we protect? Well, if we are making a big terrain like this one, it's not necessary to protect the paint, because the paint is enough strong to resist everything. Okay, especially for terrains, for dioramas, for buildings, for concrete, for ground. Only in case that, for example, you see here that this was not made for me, was made for another person, but you can see that this surface is a bit glossy, no? Like representing the fresh matte or something like that. But now try to imagine that for some reason you want it completely matte. Then you can apply the Lucky Varnish matte over all the surface if you want. Okay, in that case you can do it. Or the opposite, imagine that you paint dark brown color, but the final look is completely matte, and you think, hey, no, I want glossy because this is matte, fresh matte, it's raining, and okay, use the glossy varnish. In that case, you can use for this kind of terrains and will be very appropriate, okay?
So if I understand correctly, the paints are durable enough for indoor use terrain. If you're not going to put it outside, for years and under rains and everything else.
But if you use primer, be careful.
If you do it correctly, of course.
Sorry to interrupt you, Arten. For people making this kind of scenarios, modules, if you are using, I don't know the name in English, the polyfoam, that is the white soft. el poliestireno, but it's very soft, you know, that is very light. This can affect that material.
Okay.
So be careful. If you are using the sprays, it's over that material. It's the only one that
So
have.
it's gonna melt it or something?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
It's styrofoam.
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 Okay. There are different types of styrofoam. There are micro and there are expanded.
The big balls.
So the expanded is the fragile one. What usually do in that cases? Of course, I use the styrofoam like a base, but I cover with any kind of paste, putty, or something something strong, something acrylic, because also if you use a kind of putty or something that can affect the styrofoam, also you will damage because it's very delicate.
Can you use one-shot primer?
Yes, you can. I think you can use one-shot primer over the styrofoam. I think so. Yes, I think so. Not this one, but
because
the
we also
one-shot is
didn't-
possible.
We didn't bring all the products. We had 2,500 products from Amazon. It's quite a big series.
There are many.
Yes.
No, but in any case, if you are using that material for some reason, I don't recommend you because it's too fragile. Just try to use any kind of masilla, como lo diría, putty or
Putty, yeah,
but acrylic putty for art and crafts, for example, just to avoid that melt the styrofoam, and then probably you will be able to apply the Titan's sprays. Anyway, my recommendation, always make a small piece of something. One example that you will make, just do everything over, and if it works, then go forward and make bigger.
Yeah,
Okay?
no matter what application, automotive, you guys doing the dioramers, so small test panels. We always say if you want to have results, don't do it on actual artwork either. Because you'd be surprised. I find it sometimes in our facility here have like people doing it for years, and the other day and then like he's a great guy. He's doing all the automotive work for us, thing like that. He's spraying something new over like some panels which have like really nice artwork with them. Like, oh, what's this? I'm just testing some new clear coat. Somebody sent to us. Like, you're doing what? We don't know what the product is. You're trying to put it over really nice artwork, and yeah, I'm just testing.
Yes, it's a bit risky to try
Always
something
test
new.
panel, yes.
Yes. No, that is very important. It doesn't matter the modeling that you are doing. Always try to test over any plastic part, all kit or something, just for testing. Okay.
One thing that I have heard a lot of people say, just use plastic spoons and plastic knives, because for very cheap you can get a whole bunch of them, and you can test the primer, you can test the paint on top,
Yes.
and the knives are a flat surface, so it's better for the military if you're doing pigments.
Yes, this is true.
So that's one. Or the runners of the models too. Because it's the same plastic you're going to be using. So
Yes.
it might react differently, it might react the same, it's going to be the same as your plastic model.
Yeah, it's a very good example. So fantastic. Yes, yes. Let me explain you more things. Well, here we have another huge range of different products. Let's start for the easy ones, okay? Let's go for those ones. Those are acrylic textures to create all kind of things, from water, transparent water or blue water or water from rivers, but also texture to create concrete, sand, asphalt, mud, all kind of things. I use a lot, for example, those pastes, is appropriate paste.
Yeah,
Those paste are perfect for the polystyrene because it's acrylic and doesn't affect. So if you want to use polystyrene to create volumes, use that paste to create the texture. But also the good thing is that you don't need to paint it because already have color and already have the texture. I mean, it's glossy or satin or matte. For example, this is dark matte. I use a lot, this one in fact. When it is dry, it's darker, have texture, and is very glossy. So you will obtain a muddy texture that is very realistic, only using one product, which is very important, very interesting if you want to create dioramas. The water is the same. They are totally transparent, but have different colors depending which kind of things you are doing. No? So even this one that looks like a little pinky, looks pinky, but when it dry, it's completely different. Will dry like a river, like a wild river in that case. So follow the instruction here and not the color in the bottle. So maybe some people say, this is pink. What is it? No, no, no. When it is dry, looks like a real wild river, no? The same with the water and the others. So very interesting in case that you want to do something fast, a small vignette, small dioramas. Those textures are very appropriate. Doesn't matter for Warhammer or fantasy or military dioramas.
You have the really nice panels, which I'm sorry for
Yes.
interrupting you thought, but like the spray out panels, and they were really helpful for the shows. But after Adepticon, I don't know if somebody stolen them or something. We didn't get this box.
You lose
back.
it.
So yeah, we
You
don't
lose
have
them.
the whole thing, but it was there exactly what you're saying. It's not exactly the color. It's completely different effect when you see it on how it's actually
Yes.
finished. So super helpful. I don't know if we can get more from you guys. Rachel, Carlos,
We need to make more, even for more products.
Super helpful.
But
yeah.
especially for those was
Yeah.
necessary because
for water, for those.
this is what you see, no? You see pink, but when it is dry, it's a realistic brown color for a river, no?
No, it's exactly.
So don't follow the color from the jar. Very important in that case. Just follow the name, and this is Wild River Waters. So just trust me, please, guys, trust me. It's Wild River color, not pink. Well, talking about more products, about environments for nature and things like that, we have many. For example, we have some sets that can be used directly to make effects, for example, in harbors or rivers or structures that are inside the water. Doesn't matter if it's the sea or the rivers, no? And this contain, in that case, contains two green colors to make those effects and a water effect color. Yes, wet effect. I like a lot this one because this is not a glossy varnish. This is a kind of water, a real water effect that when you paint the right marks in your model, looks like real water in scale. Because if you use glossy varnish, oh my God, you will see too glossy and too bright and out of scale. So be careful with that. So for water, right marks or things like that, try to use this one and you will see the difference, okay? I like to show examples with this one because the people cannot understand very well the difference of texture when we are talking about super glossy or matte or satin, no? But it's very important to control that when we are making our scale models because everything is reduced. Also, the reflection of those materials, in that case, water, no? Those are one of my favorite. I use a lot, and it's enamel product to make splashes and matte. Matte splashes and matte and pure matte with more density. Those products, even if those are enamel, contain a texture in a scale that allow you to create texture of matte in your models. For example, splashed matte, but with texture. It's not totally flat like paint. It contains texture, which is important. The importance to do this with enamel and not with acrylic is that if you apply the splashes in your model or in your car, for example, a rally car, you want to make the splashes in the wheels or something like that. If you don't like it after made the splashes, you can remove it easily with a brush. But if you like it, just let dry 24 hours and completely will be dry like a rock. So that is the good thing of this product. And I use a lot in all my tanks. I don't use just paint, which is important. More things that we have here. Well, we have here some basic solution sets that we developed to help to the people to take the right colors for different subjects. Most of the times, a modeler, because I am a modeler like you, when I want to paint something new for me, for example, a Messerschmitt 109 plane, I have no idea about planes. So I need to go to a shop and ask, okay, which color for this plane? Because I have no idea about German colors for planes. I know about tanks, but not about planes. So I like it if someone give me something like that and tell me, hey, with this, you have all necessary for your model. In that case, it's all necessary for desert or arid condition tanks, you have everything. For example, not only the dash color, you have, let me show you. You have pigments, you have natural effect, you have splashes, the right color for the matte, one on brusher, one streaking. So all necessary to make the effects in any type of tank, but in desert conditions. Doesn't matter if it's a N1 Abrams or a Panzer IV in Africa Corps or a Churchill, doesn't matter. All of those colors will work very well in all of them. So it's something generic in case that you love the desertic subjects. This is yours, no? But we have many. We have for different conditions, for winter. Well, this is to make boot effects. Also, all necessary product to make boot effects, especially for people who make First World War planes. Very interesting. Or all kind of wooden parts, not only for planes, but also even for cars or any others, no? Because there are many cars who have wood components inside. So one more time, all necessary to do that.
We didn't touch base on those. What's the difference between oil brusher and streaking brusher?
Well, this is oil, not exactly like the standard oil colors that we know it, but I explained it before. And this is the streaking product that we have that is something different. This is an enamel product to create lines and blend it and create streaking effects of dirt or any other effects. Or rust or something like that. Both are different. This one dries faster than this. This is more liquid than this one. So this is the same that we have in this kind of bottle. In fact, this is a streaking. So it's exactly the same, but a different format, including the brush inside the bottle that allow you to just paint directly in your model, which saves you time. One more time, I am repeating and repeating again to save time when you are making your models, because time is very important in our lives, and everything that we design at AMO is to save time and to allow you to do more things.
Yeah, it's definitely simplifying your process.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Model, so you can get the results and enjoy.
The number thinner.
You get this dopamine kind of, splash when you have something finished and you have, oh,
yes.
I did this today, I'm done with my...
Yes, no, because it's a motivation. When you finish something, you get motivated and you want to do more and more.
Exactly.
But the problem is when you need to spend too much time, for example, thinking. I don't want to think about how to paint a German plane. I don't want to think. I don't want to waste my time. Please give me one box with everything and forget it. I don't want to spend time just searching in internet or...
To me, the perfect illustration, we went to Springfield for the train show. So it's like one of the biggest train show in the car and in the country. And we brought the whole rack of individual colors for like railroad series. And we brought all the paint sets. Sets were gone, like almost all of them, just gone. And we think we sold 3 of the individuals.
Yeah, because you know how much time you need to take. For example, the set contains six colors. But if you need to go to the rack and search for each color, one or yes or this or which one, and I don't want to think. I don't want to lose my time just doing that. Obviously, if you finish one color and you want the replacement, go to the rack and take it. No? But those are just solutions for everybody. And talking about solutions, we have here another examples. But talking about solution, remember that we have the solution boxes. I haven't one here, but this is one book from the solution boxes. In those solution boxes, let me show you here, maybe here. The solution boxes usually contain all necessary to do something. For example, a plane, a specific thematic for planes, or a specific thematic for tanks, or for science fiction, or in that case for dioramas. So this is like something like that, but with steroids. It's like stronger. This contains only a few products, and the solution boxes contain much more, including even brushes and a little book where everything is explained with a lot of detail, step by step, first explaining all products included in the kit. This is very interesting because this will help you to understand each process. If you need to shake something, if you need to let dry for this time, or if you need to repeat the process, use airbrush or brush. And one more time, you obtain the explanation step by step. Step 1, do this. Step 2, this. We took inspiration because my son liked to play with Lego. We take the inspiration from the Lego instructions, which are very simple, basic, and one step in each page. No? So it's easy to follow, easy to do it, and trust me, with the product included in the kit and with that book, you will obtain exactly the same result that you can see in the cover. Doesn't matter if it's about tank or plane. Eh? Well, and this is in 4 languages, always. So, but if you are in the States, obviously you are interested in the Spanish or English, but always contain 4 languages for each subject. Well, more books. Probably you know the Giacomo, that are paints made by Mr. Hobby, and this is a weathering system. I love it. Those products we make in collaboration with Mr. Hobby, and in this book you will find all techniques for Giacomo paints. Actually, I mix my techniques with the Giacomo ones because I like some colors from Giacomo, I like another one from Nemo. But I highly recommend you because it's another simplified version to make weathering. Only with 4 products, because you remember that are packs with only 4 products.
I think a 4-pack store.
With
so
4,
ABCD.
yes, with only 4 colors, you paint a tank with a super interesting look. So if you want to find something different, simple, easy, to avoid 1 million products, I recommend you to take the Giacomo sets and of course the book. So it's the only way to understand how to use that and to take the maximum benefit from them. Well, more books we have a lot of books about reference, historic, the encyclopedias, which are very interesting in case that you need more information. We have decals, that most of you know it. It's the classical decals for different vehicles. This is for the 116 Panzer I, that I love it because I want to make a Spanish also. And let me talk about this, because some people sometimes get a bit disappointed. Hey, the box is almost empty, okay? But it's not because it's almost empty. It's the quantity that is necessary to include, because this is not to fill a terrain in a diorama. Remember that, please, guys. This is only to apply some leaves over your tank with a lot of accuracy. There are another generic leaves that are not in scale, that are much cheaper, and you can find in a big bag, and you have many to spread in a diorama. But if you want to make a very accurate tank with a lot of leaves over the turret or the engine compartment or in the fenders, you must use those, because are realistic laser cut leaves. Are expensive, of course, because it's laser cut, but you will obtain the maximum realism and accuracy when you are making your model. Okay, so don't use this one for dioramas, please, because this is not for that purpose. That is a very important.
Unless you have unlimited budget, then you can buy tons of those.
Yeah, no. It's expensive because just take a look of the shape of the leaves. Are exactly like the real ones, and in scale. Okay. More things that are interesting. For example, I use this one for ships, for all cables for the antennas and mastile and everything, but also people who make, for example, First World War planes, they use a lot because it's very flexible, never get damaged, and it's a bit elastic, and there are different sizes, so you can create incredible effects if you are enough good modeler to use that for planes, no, or for ship, which is very difficult. More things and more products that we have, because we have many. Remember that this is just a small selection. Well, This is not. This is a mask with a millimetric measurement that helps you to cut with accuracy in case that you want to cut the mask for different shapes in your model. This will help you a lot. This is mostly for wargamers. It's a different texture of marble and other kind of floors. It's pre-cutted, so it's easy to remove it, and you can put your miniature over that surface, and you are ready to play. And the most important, they have the standard diameters for the different bases that you can find in the market. So it's just take it, glue it in a base, and put your miniature, and let's start playing. More things that we have, templates to make textures. Those are photo aids, and the people use it to create different textures. For example, in the surfaces of the wings in a planes, no, or in starships, you can create different textures, which is very interesting. Provide you another different technique, no? But it's just templates. Those are from Liang. It's a Chinese brand, but this modeler is very, very, very talented. He makes incredible things, and he not only make templates. Those ones are in paper, but there are also in photo aids, and he make all kinds of accessories too. But see how attractive are those templates to create different splashes effects, or even hands in a surface. Also wooden texture, which is very useful, or even tire marks that, for the floor. No? So very interesting. If you want to improve your skill, making those effects that for some people are difficult, this will help you to do in an easy way. And talking about easy things, we have those mats or surfaces already constructed, ready to be used. For example, if you spend too much time with your tank and you want just a base, and you don't want to, you are tired, you don't want to start making the base, okay, just take something like that, put your tank over, cut the mat, adapt to the shape of your wooden base, and you have your almost diorama done. There are for planes, there are for tanks, or there are ones that can be cut in a small portion and to construct a scenario, fiction scenario, fantasy, or military scenarios, or jungle, or there are a huge variety of vegetation that you can use for all kinds of dioramas, even for railroad. Many people use for railroad scenarios and layouts, but also useful for all people who want to make dioramas of any kind of subjects. Another thing that I like it, talking about Warhammer and people playing these kind of games, and here we have some selections. Let me show you. Those are like the solution boxes that I told you before, but specifically for war gamers. Mainly for fantasy, but for all people who want to make something like this is volcanic, jungle, and other kind of scenarios or atmosphere. No? Like you can see, and I told you before, you can find all products necessary to make those effects, and also a book with explanations and information how to use everything included here. No? Even I think that some of them include also vegetation, for example, in that case. No? So this is a good alternative for people who want to make something fast. They don't want to get crazy choosing the products. Go for something like that. Also for people for fantasy, we have fluorescent pigments that many people use to make, for example, something like how is the style neo, neo, or fluorescent with for floors with something radioactive, or to make effects of blasters or things like that. So that is a very interesting product, are very strong colors for that purpose. So I recommend you that if you are making this kind of fantasy. More stuff for dioramas. This is a kind of product that is very particular because it's to recreate the Moss effect, in fact, and it's a kind of dust, but it's not dust. It's a kind of like a real microscope vegetation that you can glue it with this product, in fact, and using your dioramas to create that particular effect of nature. No? There are different colors, different sizes also, and like for example, this is a kind of texture to make stones, and we have different colors, different sizes also for the dioramas.
So it's really good to keep in mind the scale when you're choosing from all these products.
Of course, because it's not the same 28. You mean that with the fluorescent?
Yeah, I was doing
very,
it all night.
Very cool.
No, I'm just kidding. It's Yule, but this is demo for like where you use the fluorescent pigments under black light. You can see.
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. No, the people making Warhammer love this kind of effects always.
No, we have this whole table here actually. It's a black light over it. So we have the terrain for all the fluorescent. Yeah, all these lights are. It's a black light there. So this is all for gaming.
Okay.
Yeah, see
it looks. Yes. React to the light. It's very cool. Very cool. I love them. But it's for that purpose. Mostly, if you want to create those atmospheres, trying to generate light effects or illumination or neon or things like that is fantastic. Just keep on mind, because we have many things. Impossible to explain everything here. For example, here I forgot I want to explain you something about that, because maybe for some people everything is the same, but it's not, no? For example, flexible masking tape. This one allows you to create curves in a surface. For example, if you are masking flames or you are masking something that must be curved, this will allow you to make curves with a lot of accuracy. So this is why it's flexible masking. The chrome and aluminum obviously is tape that can be used directly in a model to create that effect. Even if you want to leave it over your model, can create that sensation, no? Depending what you are doing. And it's cell adhesive.
People have been using that on their RC cars on the outside to just do some rims or like edges of the windows.
Good idea. Yes, they have many applications, but of course this can be one. No? And this one is something that I love it. It's a kind of very hard tape, almost like plastic, even stronger, but also at the same time a little flexible, and that you also can, it's adhesive. So you can put in a surface and use your scriber and use this one like something to avoid to move the scriber in the surface. So you can make lines in curve section in your plane, for example, and use your scriber, and this will help you to guide the scriber in the surface. So this is very important for people who like the construction of the scale models.
And totally new for me.
No, but very useful even for people who make cars, civil cars in 1/48 scale. The people who make planes, they use a lot this one. And the soft touch velvet is something also very unique. We have not only in tape, but also we have it in big pieces. Yes, because this one allows you to glue it in a surface, to paint with the airbrush, and remove it very softly. So in case that you are working with very fragile paints or varnishes or something like that, and you don't want that the tape remove the paint from the surface, then use the violet velvet tape, always. Because this never will damage the base color of your model, or if it's a glossy coat or something like that, never get too fixed to the surface. So this is the main purpose of the.
This is similar, but this is vinyl, right? So this is vinyl tape, really popular, like for custom painters.
Yes, for the people making planes
Yeah,
or
but you can
drafts.
of course have application for it in scale modeling as well.
So this is just a little selection of what we have, no? But I think that I never explained so many products in
Well, we
in one
wanted to have,
time.
like, again, so many people still learning about the brand, you know, in the States, and I know you guys, you're huge in Europe, but we try to make everything available. You know, sometimes we find a product which we have in trouble keeping with demand because, you know, whenever you bring 30 colors and one of them gonna sell as crazy, as you know, the Starship, and then the others kind of out. So we're trying to keep with demand, we're trying to keep everything in stock, but I appreciate it. A few questions we want to address. People were asking. So first of all, I think I know the answer when you showed me this top secret picture of the Trench Crusade. So they're asking if you're going to have any specific colors or sets for like grim dark Trench Crusade kind of theme. Is this something you're working on?
Yes, in fact, we are working in that. I spent the last month just painting Trench Crusade subjects, and we are working with them to create something together. And our idea is to create some color for the different bands in Trench Crusade. No? But remember that Ionic is a new brand that we released almost half year ago, and will be a new division just involved only in wargaming, in all kind of gaming areas, fantasy and all kind of things. And we have many projects. We are working very hard creating new stuff for all of those people. No? So, but this is something that we are doing right now in this moment.
Yeah, right. So it's coming. This, I'm not sure what was the question. The gentleman asking me, I think it was Joy. I would like to get an Atom paint color docket. What's docket? Can you tell me what's? I mean, maybe it's misspell something.
Let me read.
Yeah, right here. Atom
I think that's one of those specific military colors.
Okay.
If it's with a K, then it's definitely one of those very specific military colors.
Well, maybe, yeah, because I googled it and it's something related to
docket.
Like, yes.
What is docket?
A docket is a legal term referring to chronological records of all processing in filling in a court case. I don't think this is the one. That's what I got from Google. Yeah.
If that person can give us a sample with a photo or something, could be more easy.
Because if the question was, I thought maybe it's about like, you know, where you carry, you know, you dock in your paints. This is something we bought from, you know, just out of Amazon, just acrylic stand, and I think it's convenient. That's what we have in the back of our building where people sitting paint. You can see color from all sides. It's kind of nice, and you can easily pull. It's almost to the side, so that's what we use.
This is a good idea, but let me give you one very good recommendation. Listen, because the Atom or Ionic cover very well even in not primary surfaces. That this is something that I forget tell you before. That even if you want to use over a plastic vehicle or model, you can use it with the airbrush or by brush, and it will fit very well. You don't need a primer for Atom or Ionic. But what I do always when I am painting, for example, if I use this color, I pour a few drops in a palette, and what I do is I press the cap over the drop and I let dry. So when I put in my rack,
so you see the real paint.
I see the real paint in the cap. This is the best and faster solution to see the real color, because sometimes when it's not second enough, maybe you don't see the color exactly. But if you do that tip, each time that you use one color, do this, let dry, and you will see a perfect piece of the color in the cap. So you don't need to, that is a good idea, in fact.
Yeah.
But you don't need to do that because you will see the real color in the top of the cap.
When you go back to Spain, I'll be telling everybody that I came up with this idea.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we'll get to the fish, but also a question on the way on Atom paint. So somebody asking, I think I know the answer, but it's person with the PS270 airbrush, I think you're familiar with the Mr. Hobby, asking about the pressure settings for the paint.
For Atom?
Yeah.
Well, another, listen, can you, Vladimir, bring me one of the no-name airbrushes, with the battery? No, with the battery. With the battery.
No, the orange.
This one, yes.
This is 270 actually. This is exactly airbrush you're talking about.
Listen, the most incredible thing and the best combination, and was just by accident that I was trying yours, the one that you gave me a long time ago, and you know that this having the pressure than a real compressor like this one, because it's less powerful. This is for small touches, mostly for people using maybe inks or something like that that need less pressure. So one day I decide I will try this from Artem, no-name airbrush with a little battery compressor with Atom straight from the bottle. And of course, this needs around 1.5 pressure, 1.5. And this have less. Maybe this is half or 0.5.
So 1.5 you mean bar, right? So
1.5.
Yeah, welcome to America. It's a PSI here, but
or less. I think less because I use with my compressor 1.5. But anyway, in my compressor I use 1.5 for this, and this one have much less than my compressor because I can see very fast when I am painting that have less pressure. So I try this one to see what happened. I pour inside the airbrush, I painted a plastic example, and obviously this throw more little drops over the surface because it's less powerful. But the good thing of this paint is because self-leveling everything get uniform, and I was shocked. And I tried to make a very thin camouflage also work very well. I was trying that with this one straight from the bottle. It's very thick and works very well. So I don't know with other paints you can do the same, but that combination, in case that you want to go for holidays, and I use that when I bring with me when I go to paint demonstration, just in case that they don't give me a airbrush and compressor, I use this one, and works very well, making very thin camouflage lines and covering big surfaces. So this one you can use with any pressure almost. Very low or very high, always will works very well. My recommendation, 1.5 is perfect for this. But one more time, I try with this and works very well. With more pressure also works very well. So again, if you want to simplify your life, use something like that and forget all problems.
It's not sensitive to pressure. And again, I think if you like really fine-tuning airbrush, depending on the color, because all the pigments, they're different. It's not like you set one pressure for this color and you're going to change the color, going to be exactly the same, because the thickness is a little different there.
Yes, it's true that some colors are more thick than others, but in general, I think that you can use this kind of airbrush with very low pressure with those paints, because always self-leveling. Yeah, so
awesome.
An interesting question. Let's see. Remember that obviously that was dry sonar. You don't need to wait for 1 hour like we made during this video, but only in few seconds, if you apply correctly, it will be completely dry and strong. Okay, even if you touch a lot, it is very strong and you don't lose the details. Remember that here, okay, we will put here, so you can appreciate that you don't lose the detail. It covered very flat, very smooth.
Just one layer, right?
Yes, only one layer, because I was not able to paint underneath. But just in case that you want to do something really fast, or you need to primer, for example, 100 miniatures, or 116 tank, or many vehicles at the same time, doesn't matter what, only with the primer, you can do very fast and start painting. And immediately after this is dry, you can start painting with Atom or any other paints. So this is something that I use a lot every day for almost everything. I never start painting something, even with Atom, that is not necessary. Also, I use the Titan primer, because that provides me a lot of resistance to anything that I will make over it.
I'll show you application I found for it, because I just always have access to this product, so sometimes I don't even think what's the cost or anything else, because I just have it in the warehouse. So I grabbed this, and for the house, I needed to like the plastic containers, the whole like big containers, because I didn't like how they black and yellow. I wanted them black and silver. So I took this and I just sprayed, and I just test with my foot on next day. It's not going anywhere.
Yes.
Like it's just there.
And I took around 10 of those sprays in gray color, and I painted my big fence for my parking inside my car, That is a real big door for the car. I painted all door with this one. So that is well prepared for resistance to be outside. So for RC control, radio control vehicles or tanks or whatever, that could be very interesting. But especially for miniatures, when you need to paint a lot and to keep safe the details, which is very important. That doesn't hide the details, very small details. So don't be worried about that. There are very bad words about primers, spray primers, because it's true that not all of them works in the same way, but we made those ones because I really like it and I use every day. So I recommend you. You can try by yourself and you will be shocked. So, and here was the example, no?
Yeah, yeah, it was a great example. And well, the last question I'm going to address today. So Joe clarified his question. He was asking about the catalog. So for Atom paints, I mean, we do bring all the literature we can in English, and I know you guys have like a catalog every year, but you guys should understand they bring so many new products every month. Like I think we have monthly like hitting 10 to 12 products. It's really hard to make the printed catalog with everything. So if you want to have up-to-date information, it's on Spraygun. We're giving like anything they release, new stuff, which is green. That's the whole thing. You know, it's not like we're choosing, okay, we're gonna get the yellow and I get the green. No, whatever Ammo releases, we always just bring it and get it. And also on their own website, you know, MOES, we have, this is the latest information. We can find access to all the colors, all the sets up to date. I think that will be the answer, right? Unless you have some PDF catalogs, I don't know if you make those or...
No, the problem is exactly that we have too many products, and not always all products are available because sometimes we are not enough faster to produce everything. We try to be faster with the paint, which is the most important. And sometimes, for example, one books are out of sales because they are finished. But it's true that we have too many things. And sometimes even myself, I get lost in my own catalog. So, because obviously we make products not only for standard people or beginners, but we make also products for people who want to go beyond and to do something very professional. So there are a huge range of many products for all kind of people. My recommendation, because I know that most of the modelers are standard, like me. So you just want to paint a tank or a plane and forget it. If you have doubts or questions, always go for the sets, always go for the packs, because you will save time trying to find the more appropriate for you. And we already made the work for you. We made the home task for you. Selecting the right products and always under our experience, talking with many people and people from all kind of levels, not only experts, not only very good modelers. In fact, most of our modelers are standard or beginners. This is why we make so many things for beginners.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is the market, I think, the people who needs help with, and I think Emma does a really good job for simplifying things, for teaching the techniques. And if you've been doing it for 20 years, you probably make your own.
Yes, you don't need help. You don't need book. Probably you will be the one making books for others, no? But it's true that the beginners is who need more help, and this is why we make all of this, no?
Okay, well. Dave Golford here saying his shopping list growing by the minute. And yes, it's one of our beloved customers. And Sonic, I'm not sure why email is not answered. I know we have, I think, a full class tomorrow, but you never know if somebody drops out. I would recommend just stopping by, and we'll try to accommodate you. You know, we'll I didn't know that Mig actually prepared a little more. Then we need the models we're going to paint, so maybe we'll find space for it. If you want to join the class tomorrow, please just come around. We'll try to accommodate.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow will be a great day because we will stay here painting during all day. So be prepared, came here with energy because I will be very hard with all of you because I want that you make a lot of things, a lot of effects. We will try all products inside the solution box. Will be a fantastic experience and I hope you enjoy. Maybe we will record something. Maybe we will show any recording.
No, I'm definitely gonna record the whole thing. We'll do like
maybe.
shorts after it, but
Will be a nice experience. But in case that you miss tomorrow that event, because it's limited to not too many people, remember that next week in Virginia, we will make the same solution box event. We will make 2 classes, but also I will make some conference talking about many important aspects in the modeling. So please, if you will be next week in Virginia, don't miss those conferences. And if you are not available to go, probably we will upload to internet.
yeah, we'll try to record as much as we can.
Yes.
And yeah, they kind of surprised already broken because we were putting Mig in appreciate you taking over because we had the artist drop out, so we were subsidized teacher. I was going to record a video with mixed with some glasses, something like subsidized teacher there for the classes. But yeah, Miguel is doing a great favor for us, and he's going to be teaching more than he was supposed to at Virginia. So absolutely, make sure you join. And I'll try to actually we're gonna have live next week from one of his classes. I'm not going to be bothering him as much as I do with questions here. I'll just set up a camera here, and if internet is going to be alive, we'll see everything live from what's going on from my PMS there. But absolutely, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all the information, Mick. It's been it's quite a lot for me too. I learned from this video, making with you. But definitely, thanks for joining us live, guys, and see you next one.
Thank you, and bye bye. See you soon, my friends. Bye bye.
Respira, respira.